Hey guys, it's Robyn, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. It is supposed to be What I've Been Warming Wednesday, and tomorrow is supposed to be Wax Wars Thursday, but I got the virus that makes you lose your sense of smell, and now I can't smell anything, like, at all. So I did notice this morning, I've got like maybe 5% of my sense of smell back. I can't smell things, but I can almost tell for most things that there should be a scent. So I'm optimistic it's coming back. I can't smell right now. So I thought it would be good to postpone What I've Been Warming Wednesday because we haven't been warming wax around here this week, and do Wax Wars when I can smell again. And in the meantime, there's been a couple videos I've been meaning to film that I just haven't had time to because of the other stuff I usually do every week. So one of those is a club edit video. So I'm not going to take you through my particular club today. What I'm going to do is give you the ways that I make decisions about my club. So many of us have a Scentsy Club, and Scentsy Club is that subscription service where you can park bars that you love and just want to get on a regular basis. You can also take advantage of the Always Get My Bar perk, where you put limited time or retiring bars in there, and then you get them on an ongoing basis as often as you want. So you can have a monthly Scentsy Club, an every second month Scentsy Club, or a quarterly Scentsy Club, or you could have all three. I personally have just one club. I have a quarterly club that comes every 3 months. So it's a fairly large club because I only have the one, and it's very large. So because Scentsy comes out with so many limited time offer scents, there's often new ones that come out that I love and I want more of. And then, as you can imagine, and I'm sure you've experienced, it gets bigger with time, and then you have to make edits to it and decide what to cut out to make room for new stuff. And the struggle is real. So I'm hoping this provides some ideas for you to help you consider what you might want to think about when making edits to your club. So I didn't set out to make this like a list of 10 type video, but when I listed out all of my considerations, there actually just were 10. So we have 10 considerations for editing your Scentsy Club. So for me, there's many different ways to use your Scentsy Club. So for me, I use it only for bars that are limited time offer or are discontinuing. So if it's a bar that's in the regular catalog, you could put it in your club and you could get it that way. I prefer to order it just from the catalog and put it in my regular orders then, and save my club space for the ones that I can no longer get. So that's how I personally use my club. Again, it's up to you how you use yours, but that's what I do. So when I make a cut, it's a cut of something I can't get anymore. So it makes those cuts hard. So the first consideration I have for club cutting is it still available? If it's a bar, like say the current Chasing Rainbows collection, it just launched Monday, it's currently available while supplies last. It can still be added to club, it can still be purchased on the website. If it's something that's still available, it's important for me to try it, and then if I like it, I need to decide whether I like it or love it. And if it's just one that if I decide I really like it, like if it's just an okay one, or if it's not my favorite, I just leave it at that and I don't get more. If it's one that I really like though, and I do want more, then I need to consider whether it's something that I'm going to want on an ongoing basis, or whether it's something that I'm just going to want to warm another couple times and I'll probably be good with. So if it's still available, my first consideration is, do I like it or do I love it? Because if I like it, I would strongly recommend just stocking up on a couple bars or a few bars and saving yourself the club space. If it's one that you really, really love and see yourself reaching for often, then I would say club it for sure. But if it's one that I'm thinking an example for me would be in the Chase Rainbows collection, the red bar. I really like that bar. It's like a strawberry, cherry, watermelon type scent. It smells like strawberry jam. It's very juicy. I really like it. Do I want it in my club? Probably not. Like, I really do like it. I want to warm it some more. It's not one that I feel like I would miss out on 2 years from now if I didn't have it. Like, I think if I had 3 more bars of that one, I would be set for a very long time and I would be very content. But if it's a scent that you thought, if I couldn't warm this again, would I be really sad about it? If the answer is yes, I would club it. If it's one of those scents that you just really, really love, or it's very unique and hard to find, something like that. For me, Graduation is an example of that. Graduation is a like very unique kind of like suede leather, apple. It's a scent that I've never smelled anywhere else. And so for that reason, it went in the club for me. So I do warm it a few times a year, but for me, the uniqueness of that one made it club worthy. So I do like it, but I also find it very unique. So the uniqueness also plays into whether it stays in the club or not. So if it's available, decide whether you like it. If you like it, stock up. Don't club it. If you love it, club it. Second consideration when making club cuts is, do you have a stash of it? So if you've had a club going for a while and it's been coming to you for a while, you might find that you have a little stockpile of some bars kind of stacking up. So if you have, like, for an example for me, stargazing. I love stargazing. It's been in my club for a very long time. I have like 7 bars of it now. And 7 bars of stargazing is a lot because it's a pretty strong bar. And for me, I don't need more than that. So I did take it out of my club. That was a club cut for me because although I love the scent and I really want to keep having it, I have 7 bars. So that's going to last me a very long time. So if you have a very large stash of 1 bar, that might be an easier one to cut than something else. Another consideration is, where do you warm this bar? So for a bar that you warm everywhere in your house, you might want more of it than a bar that you only warm in bedrooms. If it's a scent that I only warm in bedrooms, it's got to be really, really good to stay in the club. Because for a bedroom warm, I only use 2 cubes of wax. And so, well, usually, sometimes I use 4, but usually it's 2 cubes of wax for a bedroom warm. So that's 4 warms in a bar for a bedroom bar. So compared to open layout, which is like 6 cubes, you get like one warm per bar. So considering how many warms you get out of a bar based on how you use that particular scent can help you decide how much of a bar you need. So if I had 3 bars of a bedroom scent, that might be plenty, but 3 bars of a open layout scent isn't very much at all. So it kind of depends where you warm it, how you use it. If it's something you warm everywhere in your house, you're going to want a lot more than if it's something that you just warm in bedrooms or an office space or something. For me personally, a bedroom scent is one that's going to get cut probably more likely before I would cut an open layout or an all over the house type scent. Especially if I have a stockpile of it, because that stockpile will probably last a long time for a bedroom scent. The next consideration I take into account is, how often do you reach for that bar, or how often do you crave it? So just like some people crave food, I crave smells. And I'm sure a lot of my Scentsy friends can agree. There are just scents that we crave a lot. And so if it's a scent that you find yourself craving, that's a good indication you probably want it in your club, if it's not currently available. If it's one that you find yourself reaching for often, it's probably a good one to have in your club. The thing is, like, are you warming the bars you're getting? So for me, I have a quarterly club. That means I get 3 bars per year because it's a 4-time-a-year club, but I skip once a year and then I have three shipments per year. So I get 3 bars a year. If I'm not warming 3 bars a year of a particular scent, it might be one that I need to consider whether I want to keep in the club or not. Because if I'm not warming 3 bars a year, it is taking up real estate it doesn't need to be taking up. So how often do you reach for the bar? How often do you feel like warming that bar is an important consideration. So if it's one that you just find yourself not grabbing towards or not feeling like warming, it might be one worth considering cutting out if you have to. Number 5 that I take into consideration, and this one's a big one for me, is sentimental value. Does the bar have sentimental value? So for me, those are usually holiday type bars. Like, there are some bars like Christmas Cottage, Be Merry, Bright Side or Life. For me, it wouldn't be Christmas or Halloween without those scents. Like, those are like very memory entrenched scents for me. So I need those. Like, I just need them. So while I'm pretty confident that I know Christmas Cottage is a bestseller every year, I'm very confident it would come back next catalog. I don't care. I park it in my Scentsy Club anyways, because if it didn't come back, it wouldn't be Christmas next year, or it wouldn't be the same without Christmas Cottage. So any bar that's got like intense sentimental value, I do put in my club and I keep it there. I don't mess around with that. If there's a scent that, like, For instance, like 100 Acre Wood. That one reminds me of my daughter when she was littler. And for that reason, that one I would put in my club if it were to be discontinued from catalog. That one is a sentimental scent for me now. And I can get it in catalog now, so I don't have it in my club. But if it were to come out of catalog, it would go in my club and stay there because it reminds me of my daughter when she was little. So, well, she's still little, but she's bigger now. So sentimental value, if a scent has sentimental value, I'm pretty likely to keep it in my club. If a scent has like 0 sentimental value and I'm not reaching for it and I've got a stockpile, it now becomes high on my list of like probation scents that I could cut if I needed to. Number 6, is it likely to come back? So again, so we have 2 catalogs per year. In the winter, the spring and summer scents go away, and in the fall they come back. If it's a seasonal scent like Christmas Cottage or something like that, good chance it's coming back. It'll probably come back in the next winter catalog. And so if you want to really gamble, those are the ones you can cut if you really want to like play your odds. So if you're in a pinch and you really want to make room for a bar, you could cut one that you like from the fall winter catalog or the opposite season catalog, and just hope it comes back next season. It's a risky game, but it could pay off in the end if you needed it to. I don't like playing that game. I'm not a gambler, so I don't usually cut based on that. Right now I do have cashmere and corduroy in my club. It's not one I would probably warm in the warmer months, and I'm pretty confident it's going to come back next fall, but I'm still not cutting it out of my club because I'm not 100% sure it's coming back. No one's 100% sure of anything, and I would be sad without it. It's a very pretty scent. So that one stays in my club. But if I was in a pinch and like really needed to cut something, I do have another spare bar or 2 of cashmere and corduroy. I mostly warm it in the bedroom, and it is likely to come back. In theory, it would be high up on my list of cuts to make. I could cut that one if I had to. So ones that are not likely to come back are like LTOs, so like limited time offers. So Chase Rainbow's collection, any of those limited time wax collections are not likely to come back. They're also not likely to come back and bring back my bar, because bring back my bar voting usually doesn't include those limited time collection scents. So if there's a limited time offer scent that you love, I would recommend putting it in your club and keeping it there because it likely will not come back. We all know Pacific Sandalwood and how many people love that one, and it has not come back, and it has not come back for bring back my bar voting either. So another one would be scent of the months. For scent of the month, they usually seem to include 1 or 2 per year in the catalogs. Like they usually take one from the previous 6 months and put it in the next catalog, in my experience. But that's far from a sure thing. Like, that's not a sure thing at all. So if there's a scent of the month that you really love, I would put it in your club. Another thing to take into consideration into whether it's likely to come back is, what did people think of it? If it's a scent that you really loved, but most people weren't a big fan of, it's probably not coming back. Like, it's probably not going to be voted back. It's probably not coming back. So put it in your club and keep it there. If it's a scent that was like widely loved, I'm thinking like Pink Sugarberry Mint was a scent of the month sometime last year. It was widely loved. People loved Pink Sugarberry Mint. Still would have been wise to put it in your club because it wasn't likely to come back. But it was so loved that it did come back. It got put into general catalog, actually. So it was so widely loved that it got put into general catalog. But that was by far not a guarantee. But one like Stargazing, also a scent of the month, not as widely liked. A lot of people didn't like Stargazing. It's not likely to come back. Like, I would be shocked if that ever comes back. So it's kind of, it can help to kind of watch videos, see what people think of a scent, see what people on Facebook are saying about the scent, to kind of gauge what public opinion on that scent is. If it's widely loved, it's more likely to come back than if it's not widely loved. But if it's a limited time offer, it's probably not coming back. Bring back my bar, it might, but it might take years. So it's kind of important to weigh those factors. The 7th thing I consider is, how does that bar perform? It's a lot easier to justify keeping a good performing bar in your club over a weak performing bar in your club. So there are scents that I love that are just on the lighter side. Honeymoon Hideaway is one. Bora Bora Blossom is one. I do keep both of those in my club, but it would be easier to cut those ones for another scent that I love if the other scent that I loved and was replacing it with was a better performer. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you want a bar that you love that's very light and not that strong or long lasting? Or do you want a bar that you love that is a good performer as well? So if you're juggling that, performance is one factor to consider. Another thing you can consider, the 8th thing I consider, is how many of that bar do you have in your club? So if you have multiple clubs, do you have that bar in multiple clubs? Because if you have it in multiple clubs, take it out of one or something. So you only have it in one club. If you have one club, like I do, if you have like 2 bars of a scent in there, do you really need both bars? Are you warming through both bars before you get your next shipment? If you are, then keep it. If you're not, then is it worth cutting it down to 1 bar per shipment? That's an easy way to save club space while not cutting any scents out. So if you do have multiples of a scent, I would recommend cutting from there first, just because that way you get the scent still, but just not as much of it. So that's an idea. The next one is consultant specific. So the other one I take into account is, are customers that you have locally likely to ask for this bar? So Scentsy doesn't condone keeping stock on hand. I don't keep stock on hand for customers. I do keep a large personal collection, but I rarely sell from that. Like I don't really do that. That said, if there's like a friend or a local customer that I have that I know loves a scent that is a limited time offer or not available, and it's in my club anyways because I like it, I'm less likely to cut it if I know that they're likely going to text me and be like, hey, do you have any pink rhubarb sugar on hand? That one's currently available, so it wouldn't be in my club. But, if someone had a bar that they love that was in my club anyways, I would be less likely to cut it if I knew that they were going to ask for it. So that's something to consider. Again, I would caution you against keeping bars in your club just for customers. I don't think that's a great idea. But, I mean, you do you, it's your business. But for me, that would be one consideration. It would be pretty low on my list of considerations, but it would be something I might take into consideration if I was cutting. The last thing I take into account is, can I skip this club? So with Scentsy Club, you get 1 skip per year, so per year. So I skipped my March shipment, so now I can't skip again until next March. Otherwise, I would lose always get my bar perks. So you do get 1 skip per year. If you really can't decide and you want more time to decide how you want to make your club work, you could use your skip just to buy yourself more time before you have to make those decisions. That can be helpful. It can help you if you're on a catalog cusp season. So for instance, if it was, if it was June now, and the new catalog comes out August 1st, say I would be able to see it August 1st. This is all hypothetical, by the way. I don't know exactly when the next catalog is coming out. Say it was going to be able to be seen August 1st, and I would then know what's coming back. If I wanted to skip my September shipment, then I could make those adjustments and know what is going to be back in the catalog, what I can take out, and make those adjustments. So it could be a idea to skip a shipment just to kind of buy you time, because time can buy you information as well, like what's coming back in the next catalog or what's coming back and bring back my bar. That way you can make cuts based on that if you need to. So those are the things I consider. For me, it mostly comes down to, in a nutshell, if I'm just looking at a bar, it's like, okay, do I have lots of it on hand? If yes, it's a think about it more. If no, I'm probably burning through it at a pretty good rate, so it's going to stay in the club. Is it sentimental? If yes, it stays. No questions asked. That is a hard line for me. For me, half the beauty of Scentsy and smell and home fragrance is the way that memories in your home get tied to the fragrances that you're using. So those ones stay for me. Another thing you could consider is whether you have a hard number in mind. So I don't usually go in with a hard number. Some people like to try to keep their club at a certain number, under $150 or whatever dollar amount they decide is okay for them. I don't have a firm number. So as far as like bring back my bar strategy in like June, we do have bring back my bar coming up June 1st to June 30th. And of course, all of our clubs are going to grow at that time probably because we're going to all want to add those to our clubs. So we're going to probably have to make some cuts as well. So I'm hoping this video helps you with that. When we get the bring back my bars or any LTO or any other future bring back my bars, what I would suggest is when you get your samples or when you get to smell the bars that you want to smell or that you're going to be trying, decide what you like versus what you really like. The ones you like, grab a few bars, grab a 6-pack even if you want. The ones that you just like, just stock up on. The ones that you love, put them in your club, because there's probably not going to be enough room in our clubs for most wallets to have all of the bring back my bars that we like in our club long term. It might work if you're new to Scentsy, because you might not have a very large club yet. But after we've done a few rounds of bring back my bars and a few rounds of LTOs, that club gets pretty full pretty quick, and then you're forced to make some really uncomfortable cuts. So I would say stock up on the ones that you like, that you really want a few more bars of, or even a couple more bars of, and then only put like maybe your top 5 or 6 in your club, which I know sounds like a lot, but that's being very restrained for me. So yeah, it's always a balancing act. It really is. And it's going to depend on your personal budget, your personal comfort level, your personal storage space, what Scentsy is for you, what you want it to be for you. Like it's going to depend on you and all of the factors about you, which are going to be different than me. But I just thought I would share this list to kind of give you an idea of what factors might help you make those difficult decisions either now or in the future. So I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions below, feel free to share how you make decisions in your club. If I forgot something, or if you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, please, let's have a conversation below. I would love to hear how you make your decisions about what stays and what goes from your club. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Easter, guys. Bye.